What up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. As I mentioned, if you saw any of my content, if you know any of my other content from my other channel, which is strictly music related, I decided to hit record on anything I just randomly watch. So we have this channel here. Welcome to Zack Overreacts. Glad to have you. Please, would love if you supported. Please like, comment down below. Make sure you subscribe. And by the way, I do read all my comments. So if you have anything random, unrelated to music, that you want me to check out, it could be funny, food related, travel related, crime related, technology related. So right now, I wanted to check out. I've never seen this video of Steve Jobs introducing the iPhone. I find it fascinating. I'm a tech nerd. I myself have owned multiple Androids, iPhones. Right now, I'm running a Pixel, but I've had damn near the latest iPhone as well. I'm very tech savvy. It's part of my world in my actual job. So I wanted to watch this regardless. I've never seen this. Rest in peace, my guy. Anyways, but welcome here, and thank you for coming. If you don't know me, if you're new to the channel, appreciate your love. I do have another channel, Zack Reacts, which is strictly music related. If you want me to check out anything music, definitely jump over there. It is linked down below. But let's dive into this real quick. I just wanted to check this out, and I may have commentary, I may not, but it's interesting to see how tech evolves in just that short amount of time. What is that, 18 years, right? So let's go here.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. And Apple has been, well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. Apple's been very fortunate. It's been able to introduce a few of these into the world. In 1984, we introduced the Macintosh.
Look at that.
It didn't
thing.
just change Apple, it changed the whole computer industry.
No doubt. Dude, it's wild looking at this stuff in hindsight and how he's speaking about this as a game changer, because if you think about it, every launch of every device was a quote-unquote game changer, right? The BlackBerry, the Trio, the iPhone, the whatever, right? The Razor, everything. iPhone was a game changer, but it's interesting to build this narrative, and you have this kind of but it's at the time it's like, yeah, Steve, we hear you. What do you got, right? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'll run it back. Look at this old bad boy I just found. This is like the first one. Look at this monster. This is a paperweight. It works too. They don't update them anymore, but it's a behemoth, that guy.
In 2001, we introduced the first iPod.
I might have one of those too.
And it didn't just change the way we all listen to music. It changed the entire music industry.
Dude, again, this is inspiring to watch. I had my Nano, and back when I was in running shape, I would run everywhere. Small, tiny. It held, well, at the time, a lot of songs. And I still, it's still smaller than this phone, right? Not a bad device to take with you. Now it's like, I got watches, and it's wild.
Well, today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls.
Dude, some of the faces in the crowd, it's like he just invented SpaghettiOs.
The second is a revolutionary mobile phone. And the third is a breakthrough internet communications device. So, three things. A widescreen iPod with touch controls.
He rolled out an iPod, an iPhone, and Safari the same day, if I'm understanding this right.
A revolutionary mobile phone.
I had no
and a
idea.
breakthrough internet communications device. An iPod, a phone,
Browser.
and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? These are not three separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone. And here it is.
Anybody who's had a rotary phone, it's kind of funny. It's a lot of you probably haven't. I did. It was green. I had to carry that thing around the house on a long ass cord and share it with my siblings. And then like shortly thereafter we got the phone also corded, and I had to walk across the, I know, first world problems, I get it. Yeah, I'm whining about walking with the phone cord, but that's funny, man. I haven't seen this. It's weirdly inspiring for somebody who's like, I don't use any Apple products right now. If I was a designer, I have nothing bad to say about them. I'm not one of those elitists that's like, I'm kind of set in like, I like the customizations that I get elsewhere, the things that I'm able to do, knowing what I'm able to do with them. Because although if I was to recommend any devices to my mom, my late grandma, literally anybody else, I would tell them to buy Apple products because it's easier to use. The UI is better. It's more intuitive. I get it, and that's another tangent that regardless. But because there's things that my phone that I've kind of made it do that like there's no way an Apple phone can do. So, but that's fine. But that's cute. It's a rotary.
No. Actually, here it is, but we're going to leave it there for now. So, before we get into it, let me talk about a category of things. The most advanced phones are called smartphones, so they say. And they typically combine a phone plus some email capability, plus they say it's the internet, sort of the baby internet, into one device, and they all have these plastic little keyboards on them. And the problem is that they're not so smart and they're not so easy to use. So if you kind of make a business school 101 graph of the smart axis and the easy to use axis, regular cell phones are kind of right there. They're not so smart and they're not so easy to use.
I'm gonna take personal offense on behalf of my BlackBerry Curve. I stand by that. And it had that keyboard. And I thought it was pretty smart. And I was quick as hell with that thing, too.
But smartphones are definitely a little smarter, but they actually are harder to use. They're really complicated.
I had a Trio, too. Smart, exhausting.
Just for the basic stuff, people have a hard time figuring out how to use them. Well, we don't want to do either one of these things. What we want to do is make a leapfrog product that is way smarter than any mobile device has ever been and super easy to use. This is what iPhone is. Okay?
Smartphone 101.
So, we're going to reinvent the phone. Now, we're going to start.
Smart water. Is he drinking smart water? Talking about smartphones. You got to love his kind of somewhat dry, witty, smart, kind of a little bit sideways comical approach at the way he lays things out, man. I wish I could speak like that. It's in a turtleneck too. I could probably rock a turtleneck. I'd like to do that at some point soon.
with a revolutionary user interface is the result of years of research and development, and of course it's an interplay of hardware and software. Now, why do we need a revolutionary user interface? I mean, here's 4 smartphones, right? Motorola.
Owned that one. I didn't own the middle, that smaller BlackBerry. I did own the regular. I did own the Trio. I like the Trio, man. It was inherently flawed in other ways, but the idea was really smart.
Motorola Q, the BlackBerry, Palm Treo, Nokia E62, the usual suspects.
It's called Treo? I always called it Trio.
And what's wrong with their user interfaces? Well, the problem with them is really sort of in the bottom 40 there. It's this stuff right here. They all have these keyboards that are there whether you need them or not to be there. And they all have these control buttons that are fixed in plastic and are the same for every application. Well, every application wants a slightly different user interface, a slightly optimized set of buttons just for it. And what happens if you think of a great idea 6 months from now? You can't run around and add a button to these things. They're already shipped. So what do? It doesn't work because the buttons and the controls can't change. They can't change for each application, and they can't change down the road if you think of another great idea you want to add to this product. Well, how do you solve this? It turns out we have solved it. We solved it in computers 20 years ago. We solved it with a bitmap screen that could display anything we want, put any user interface up, and a pointing device. We solved it with the mouse, right? We solved this problem. So how are we going to take this to a mobile device? Well, what we're going to do is get rid of all these buttons and just make a giant screen. A giant screen. Now, how are we going to communicate?
I'm sorry. Look at this thing. In a good way. Revolutionary. My Pixel is like loosely based off of apps that, I mean, essentially they all kind of copy each other. Somebody does something right, they all do them right. And then improve upon that. So it's this back and forth. It's funny. I don't think I had the first iPhone. I think my first was maybe a 4. I think I waited a few generations. I probably couldn't afford it. I think I was in college or something. 2000. No, I don't want to date myself, but I mean, I'm kind of pretty. I would date myself. I'm just kidding. I don't. I think that was just after college for me. So I graduated in 05. Do the math. I'm a whiz kid though. Whatever.
We don't want to carry around a mouse, right? So what are we going to do? Oh, a stylus, right? We're going to use a stylus. No. No.
Dude, the Samsung S Pen, they brought it back, and I still swear by that thing. A nervous habit to click on. It's not the worst thing to have a stylus. It's not for everybody.
Who wants a stylus? You have to get them and put them away, and you lose them. Yuck. Nobody wants a stylus. So let's not use a stylus. We're going to use the best pointing device in the world. We're going to use a pointing device that we're all born with. We're born with 10 of them. We're going to use our fingers.
Not all of us.
We're going to touch this with our fingers. And we have invented a new technology called multi-touch, which is phenomenal. It works like magic. You don't need a stylus. It's far more accurate than any touch display that's ever been shipped. It ignores unintended touches. It's super smart. You can do multi-finger gestures on it. And boy, have we patented it.
He's not wrong though. How monumental was that design? There's one button on that phone, literal button, right? And now there's none, obviously, but on the front face, obviously side buttons, volume, etc., whatever. But it's wild, the technology, and that's, I mean, that is, geez, that is a while ago too.
We've been very lucky to have brought a few revolutionary user interfaces to the market in our time. First was the mouse. The second was the click wheel. And now we're going to bring multi-touch to the market.
I will agree with all of those things. And in that same light, like MacBooks and whatnot, still have by far the best touchpad. My laptop is, just because everything else I have is PC for work, and I mean, I built my computer, so I don't build Macs. I can build this monster, but regardless, the touchpad on like a laptop, like a MacBook, I had a Pro that I wouldn't get rid of just because of how much I learned like the touchpad and how intuitive that was. Um, it's wild what they've done with just, common user interface, user intuition, and interaction. And I mean, just hot buttons and corners, and just it's crazy, what you can do if you just learn, the system.
And each of these revolutionary user interfaces has made possible a revolutionary product: the Mac, the iPod, and now the iPhone. So, a revolutionary user interface. We're going to build on top of that with software. Now, software on mobile phones is like baby software. It's not so powerful. And today, we're going to show you a software breakthrough. Software that's at least 5 years ahead of what's on any other phone. Now, how do we do this? Well, we start with a strong foundation. iPhone runs OS 10. Now, why would we want to run such a sophisticated operating system on a mobile device? Well, because it's got everything we need. It's got multitasking. It's got the best networking. It already knows how to power manage. We've been doing this on mobile computers for years. It's got awesome security. And to write apps, it's got everything from Cocoa and the graphics, and it's got core animation built in, and it's got the audio and video that OS X is famous for. It's got all the stuff we want, and it's built right in to iPhone. And that has let us create desktop-class applications and networking, right? Not the crippled stuff that you find on most phones. This is real desktop-class applications. Now, one of the pioneers of our industry, Alan.
I love the format of this presentation too. This is wildly good. I love this.
Alan Kay has had a lot of great. One of the pioneers of our industry, Alan Kay, has had a lot of great quotes throughout the years. And I ran across one of them recently that explains how we look at this, explains why we go about doing things the way we do, because we love software. And here's the quote: "People who are really serious about software should make their own hardware."
People who are really serious about software should make their own hardware. Yeah, to some extent, sure. I guess you have to know, because they work hand in hand, and it's sort of a quid pro quo kind of thing. You can't really have one without the other. Is that a song from a sitcom? Love and Marriage. Anyways, it's I would prefer my people, and I have teams that that I work with that are dedicated to both of these things. I'd rather have people that specialize in both, but you do need a basic functional understanding of each facet for sure. If you're really serious about software, you should make their own hardware. That sounds like a lot of work, and good luck to you. I don't disagree with that, but that if you're going to be good at one discipline, I feel like you gotta pick and choose, because they're very different, as far as trades to focus on. But another topic. Anyways, see, this is the stuff I click on randomly, right? It's fascinating. It is to me. It doesn't have to be to you, but if you made it this far, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Make sure you like, comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm gonna be doing random stuff on this channel. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I just did a true crime thing about a woman that really didn't like her kids very much, and liked money and online clout better. Uh, Wild story. Go check it out if you haven't. But I'm gonna keep moving on here. I don't want to make these too long, but they kind of gotta be. Um, because otherwise you could just watch this without me. And the point is that I'm hoping to provide some sort of fun commentary. We'll see. We'll see if I get there. Right. I do have another channel that is strictly into music. Like I told you, that's linked down below. More people like that than like this so far. We'll see. Go support go support Apple. Make sure you go show some love. And again, I'm not an elitist. I'm not a fanboy either way. I choose what I know enough about both to choose what I like, but I would never knock somebody that like, oh no, you have blue bubbles or shut up. Who cares? Did you get my text? You did? Cool. It read okay? You understand it? All right, cool. We're on the same page. Um, but I have mad respect for Apple products. I've owned many, and I think they're very superior in a lot of different ways. Just not for what I do. But um, anyways, love to have you here. Like I said, make sure you like, comment down below. Make sure you subscribe. I do link my Patreon down below. That is, you could throw me any request you want. It's free if you want me to check out anything random. And then if you have something music related, then obviously I would throw that on the other channel. But have a wonderful rest of your night, your day, your week, your year, your life, your afterlife, whatever you're into. We'll talk to you on the next.